it's always very interesting to create a brand, both as a brand image, the logo, the
Mm.
name, but also as a brand, as an architectural brand or an interior brand. So it was a great opportunity because it's so rare to start from scratch. And, besides, so every few years, there comes a project where the client gives you enough freedom, trusts you enough with enough freedom, creative freedom, to come up with something. So I guess besides there's architecture and there's interior.
I'm Farah Shammas. Welcome to Hotel Talk. We hope you enjoy listening to this friendly conversation between people connected by real life in hotels.
Hello, everyone. We are back for another episode of Hotel Talk. And today I have with us Mr. Fawzi Azar, who is, disclaimer now, very, very good personal friend, not just of mine and my husband's and my brother's, but we go back 4 generations of very tight friendship with our families, which is amazing. He is an architect and an interior architect / designer. And you guys might know him for his amazing work he did at Golden Monkey. We did the whole restaurant together and it was lots of fun. So Fawzi, welcome.
Hi, thank you for having me.
I'm so
Hi, everyone.
excited to be together and have a chance just to chat and share a little bit about what we've done and your creativity and what your dad's done with the hotel and so much more. So let's start off with introduce yourself to everyone. Who are you? Where do you live? And what do you do?
Fair enough. Hi, so my name is Fawzi Azar. I live in Lebanon. So we've had the architecture firm. It's a family business. So my father started it. I'm continuing in his footsteps. It's a 50-year-old company, also based in Beirut. About 5 years ago, just before COVID, we opened a branch in Paris. And so we have worked pretty much everywhere on 3 continents now, 16 countries, going up more with more countries and more projects. And yeah, I mean, I guess that's a quick introduction.
Yeah, a quick intro. And of course, both our dads were studying together at the same time at the American University of Beirut, which was amazing.
My grandfather, dad,
Our
and
grandfathers
now
were
our children.
friends. And now our kids, they're so cute. So I love it. It's really, really special. 4 generations. Yeah, it's amazing. And you guys have done, I mean, I know your dad is just an amazing architect. So are you. Your dad's quite famous in not just Lebanon, I'd say the Middle East. What's been maybe not one of, or a few of the more notable projects that people might know?
So some of the more notable projects, I guess, would have to be mostly in Lebanon. I would say that my father has done, like the offices of the parliament, of the Lebanese parliament, Hall of Justice of Saida, which is a town south of Beirut. It's done a few projects for the American University of Beirut, which is a very well-known city throughout the Middle East. And I guess if we want to go outside of Lebanon, he's had so a couple of hotels in the UAE, which we're proud of because they're high-rise towers. I guess also my father specialized in renovation of Greek Orthodox churches mainly. So our main Greek Orthodox cathedral in Beirut, St. George Cathedral, was renovated by my father. It's a big thing
It's
here.
amazing
So
projects, yeah.
These are key
And
projects.
we'll put your link in the show notes because everybody really should go on and just see all of the stunning projects you guys have done. So let's talk a little bit about Golden Monkey, because many of our listeners have been to San Rafael Resorts, not all of them. And if you haven't yet, then you know where you need to come. So just to give a little bit of an intro into Golden Monkey, it's our authentic Thai restaurant. It's on the ground floor of our tower, our residential tower. And a few years back, when we were coming up with an idea for this specialized restaurant, I really wanted to do Thai. I just thought Thai was different for Cyprus. We don't have a fine dining Thai on the island, definitely not in Limassol. And I love Thai food, and I just thought, who doesn't? I mean, it's spicy, but it doesn't have to be spicy. It's healthy. Yeah, it's just a lovely evening out, I thought. So I was actually in the process of doing a franchise with quite a well-known company, and I think I was pregnant at the time, and that was pushing me a bit to having it kind of not subcontracted, but maybe an easier life with the branding already done. And then a few things happened, and I was just like, no, let's not do it. And my husband goes to me, yeah, well, why not? Yeah, you could do it on your own. But then he's like, what would you call it? And I'm like, the monkey. And then I go, and the logo would be a golden monkey with a black background. And Michael actually said, well, why don't you call it Golden Monkey? And I'm like, yes. And I'm going to call Fawzi now. And I'm going to get Fawzi to, it was like a no-brainer. Like, we had to work together on this project. It was like a calling. And then I did. I didn't sign the contract with these people. I called you. And then you were the one you were like, I love the name. Googled it most probably. And then called me back and said, Farah, it's not just a monkey. It's a lotus flower. And let's go with that, with the logo, and then the rest is history. So let's tell everyone a little bit more about all the fun we had doing Golden Monkey.
Oh, we had tons of fun. I mean, it's always very interesting to create a brand, both as a brand image, the logo, the name, but also as a brand, as an architectural brand or an interior brand. So it was a great opportunity because it's so rare to start from scratch. And, besides the name and the association with the lotus flower, and the guidelines, your guidelines, you wanted it to be as authentic Thai as we could.
Yeah.
If 100%, then we go 100%. It was open seas to just like creativity, like go in different directions. I remember in the early concept stages, we presented 6 different directions of options.
Yeah.
Like the Thai market, we went to something more classical. We went to, grungy hipster kind of Thai, new style.
Yeah,
and
like almost street food. Yeah.
And street food option, but you were already working on another street food restaurant in
yes, we've already got Splash. Yeah,
the Splash. So you wanted something a bit more classier, but still authentic Thai. And finally, we decided on one direction, and then we just had to go to Thailand to
it was
start
amazing.
Even more inspiration, and the trip was just
the trip was so memorable, wasn't it?
It was so memorable, and I mean, it was the first time for me in Thailand, so everything was new. I had if you want to say, a child's eye to this whole new world, even architecturally, especially architecturally to me. I mean, we had studied at university, but to experience it was something different. And I'd lived in Cyprus for 6 years during the Lebanese civil war, so I've been accustomed to Cypriot architecture and craftsmanship, and I started seeing these similarities. Like, for example, the Thai.
1 minute, Fawzi, we might have to turn off your Fawzi, we might have to turn off your video because it's a bad connection
but
now.
maybe oh, sorry. Shall I?
Yeah, the connect. Yeah, it started freezing.
Okay, yeah, sorry, that's Lebanon internet.
That's okay. Yeah,
Sorry about
the
that,
joys.
the joys of living in Lebanon. And so I started making those associations, between Thai craftsmanship and architecture and Cypriot, and where we could have
Marry
these,
them.
you marry them exactly. And so, for example, the brick, wall which we have in the two sides of the walls, which we have in the Golden Monkey, are inspired from Thai architecture, but the bricks were all done in Cyprus, and I think that also goes in line with all your efforts, Farah, to be environmentally friendly, low carbon emissions. We didn't need to, again, among other things I loved about our trip is trying out all these different restaurants, from street food to 2-star, 3-star Michelin restaurants.
Exactly. And getting ideas, even for the plates, even for like how we were going to serve stuff, and how comfortable we were sitting. Like we sat in so many different environments and different, literally physical chairs. And we were like, well, could we sit here for 2-3 hours and spend money and be comfortable? Or it's, yeah.
And so yeah, it was
I always remember the Michelin star restaurant we went to that was amazing, but it was so dark, wasn't it? And like we couldn't really see our food. So we were laughing a lot because you were also, it was a sharing menu. So we had the vegan menu. Fawzi had to humor me, and they came and asked us, so do you like spicy food? And we were like, well, we're quite good for European standards. We're good with spices. But we are from Europe. And they were like, okay, we've got it. We'll do light.
Yeah.
And then it came out, and by the third dish, and they were literally like tasting plates, weren't they? They were tiny. We had our mouths were burning. And I was laughing. I was like, Fawzi, they could be giving me chicken or prawn right now. I would have no idea. Like, it's just, yeah. And that was interesting because it was a Michelin star. It was, amazing. Everything was beautiful, but it was so dark. That's why I still remember about it. And and it was just like incredibly spicy, but it was an experience. It was. And didn't we find the frogs there that we bought when we were leaving the restaurant? We saw the little frogs, on the pond. So if you do come to Golden Monkey in Cyprus, you'll see these at the end of our interior pond or water feature. There's some frogs, and we found them leaving that restaurant. We were like, we want them. I don't even know if they were really for sale, but they were like, okay.
Yeah.
You can have them. Yeah. And then we went to so many markets we were only there for 3 days. We left Cyprus and it took like nearly a day to get there. But I didn't want to leave the kids for longer. So we only went for 3 days. And in 3 days, we managed to get all of the decoration and all the inspiration for this restaurant. So we were literally running around markets, antique markets, high-end furniture shops. I think the hardest thing we had to find, Fawzi, was the Buddha.
It's the Buddha, and then to our surprise, they give us an address for a street, and the whole street is just factories and factories upon factories of Buddhas, and one particularly stood out, where actually eventually we got the Buddha.
And it was huge, but no one would tell us. So we spent the first 2 days, and no one. We arrived in Thailand, and literally there was this massive billboard that had Buddha's face on it, and then these words saying, "I'm not for export," and which we understood, and we wanted to respect very much the Thai culture. And then we were asking everyone, we really need a Buddha. No one would tell us where we could get a Buddha statue from. And then finally, I can't remember how we found out. Do you remember?
It was one of the, in one of the open air markets, we were asking around, and someone told us the name of a street.
Yeah, luckily they shared it with us. And then we got there, and then it was this huge, just unbelievable.
6 meter, 7 meter high Buddha just in the middle of the
In the
courtyard.
middle. It was
And
crazy. And it was like the whole of St. Raphael Gardens just with Buddhas.
yeah.
And yeah, amazing.
Room upon room upon room. Every room we entered, the different sizes, different postures of the Buddha. It was incredible.
It was
And
amazing.
but I do remember you walked in the room and you said that one. You just pointed and you said that's the one. I looked at you and I said I agree, and
That was it.
that was it.
And then we were just so lucky with the people who are so lovely. We love Thai people, because we were like, okay, well, this is our address. We were very clear that we wanted to pay all taxes and be completely legal and get everything done properly. So we were like, okay, here's the address, here's the money, bye. And then we left, and when we were like, do we even know that they'll ever send it? Or, because that was it, we were leaving. And the same thing when we went to what was the name of the market where we got loads of the antique market. We were just so lucky because we'd bought quite a few antiques and things before, but then we stumbled on this one little shop where the woman was so sweet, and they just had nearly everything we needed. Which if you, again, guys, if you've been to Golden Monkey, we're talking about all the statues along the wall as you enter, the Ganesh statue as you come in.
All the little, most of the little objects in the clay.
No, those were from the market. That was a different market.
But there were a couple of, I think it was the bells, or was it? There were a few things.
Maybe a couple, but most of those we got from like individual smaller markets, and then the other there was that one like massive one, massive. I still remember exactly what it looked like, where we managed to find the basins for the toilets, all of the door handles, which are antique, and then they were telling us, oh, it's okay, you can take them and put them in your bag. No one will realize. And we went, no, like we were like, where's the papers? We'll pay the tax. We want, everything's with certificates, and we're not risking leaving here and being accused of illegal exportation. But yeah, we got so many things. I mean, it was just unbelievable. And then the funniest story was when the crates finally arrived. We opened them all up, and we took everything out, and then it was done, and the crates were put, to be disposed of, and all of these amazing antiques were ready to go up in the restaurant. And then we started counting. We're like, one, da, 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 da. And then I think, were you here, Fawzi, when we did that or not? Or did I just tell you that story?
I'm not sure I was there. Were you missing? But I remember.
And then we were missing, yeah. And then I was like, no, wait, there's one piece. Wait, I remember this piece. Where is it? And then they went through all the crates again, and it was like at the bottom, and it was so well wrapped. It looked like the floor of one of the crates, and they nearly threw it out. I was like, ugh.
It's one of the flat door.
The flat, I think it's the piece as soon as you enter Golden Monkey. It was the one that almost looks like a Tudor rose, I said. It's carved out, and that was supposed to be actually on the ceiling at the elevators. But then we ended up putting it on the wall because the ceiling then had too many sprinklers and other things. Yeah. So yeah, it was really fun. And then the chairs. So we went to Thailand. Now, anybody who knows Thailand will laugh at us because maybe we're naive, thinking that furniture prices would be more like Bali or something. And then we got there and we were like, wow, this stuff is more expensive than Italy. Plus it was like just a bit narrower. Obviously, Asian people are, more petite than a lot of Mediterranean people. So we were like, oh, this isn't going to work, because we wanted some chairs, like the head chairs, to have arms. So we were in all these places, and I was subtly, remember, taking pictures And we were trying to gauge it all. So we actually, again, it was good for the carbon footprint anyway. We came back to Cyprus and had everything made locally. And then without leather, because a lot had leather, didn't it, there? So we could do it with
Ropes.
cords and ropes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
It
So
was so much fun. I loved it. So,
all right.
Fawzi, apart from Golden Monkey, what's been your most interesting project to date? Like, or what gets you most excited? Is it when you have to do interior? Is it for external? Is it renovation? Is it?
Uh, it's a bit of both, I guess. So every few years there comes a project where the client gives you enough freedom, trusts you enough with enough freedom, creative freedom to come up with something. So I guess besides there's architecture and there's interior. So besides Golden Monkey in recent years, um, I guess there's so we have a brand of paints like for wall paint, not paintings, called Tinol Paints. And I designed their flagship store, which has been an amazing has been received with amazing reviews to the point that even their branding team used part of the design in their new branding strategy, the architecture, the interior design into their new strategy, which was fantastic. And they keep getting, it's been it. We finished it about a year after Golden Monkey, and it till today still getting good reviews. The owners still call me, telling me, "Listen, people have asked about who's the designer behind this. You might get a call from so and so, etc." But that was a nice interior project. Architecturally, I guess for me, one of the highlights of my career thus far is I'm a graduate of the School of Engineering and Architecture in AUB and of the American University of Beirut. And in 2015, I got invited to a competition to build a new building for my alma mater. I won the competition. We got the design, we finished it, we built it, we supervised the construction, and it's got great reviews. It's on a fantastic spot on the campus, and I'm so proud to have won that competition and to have been given the freedom to design an interesting building, to say the least. And I guess finally now we're working on a fun villa in Italy, in the north of Italy, a lakefront villa. And here also the client has given us creative freedom. We did the same process. We gave him 6 different options and directions to go in the beginning. Finally, we decided on one, and now we're moving forward. It's still under design, and hopefully to be complete in a construction complete in a year and a half, couple of years maybe. So
amazing.
Those are the most, I guess, creatively most notable projects in the past few years.
And if somebody's listening to this and wants to study architecture, or they have a kid who wants to study architecture, what would you say is the best thing about this chosen career path that you and your dad have taken?
The best thing about architecture is you can never really get bored or feel a routine in the profession. Every project is a new creation. Every project, you can apply certain skills, and some of the engineering that comes in is standard at the end of the day. But in terms of creativity, I mean, even 2 adjacent plots of land for 2 different clients will give you 2 completely different projects. So it's not copy paste. There's no boredom from the routine. And if you're passionate about it, it's I call it, it's like, as a child playing Legos. You can just dismantle and rebuild it, and you might never get the same project ever. So I guess that's the most fun about architecture.
Yeah, definitely. It's creativity, isn't it?
Exactly.
Absolutely. Fawzi, I ask everybody this. What's your favorite quote?
I guess it's not one quote, but actually two quotes. One which I've taken as a life lesson from my mom, which it's a Lebanese, or it's an Arabic quote, which literally translated says, "Don't hate anything that happens to you in your life, for it may be to your benefit, for it may be good to you." And I love that quote because basically it tells us that, whatever happens, even if it's something negative, I'm thinking, as a career, like a failed competition that we didn't get, you're learning a lesson, and that lesson will do you good in the future. Any heartbreak in a previous relationship will also get you to learn more about yourself, which is also to your benefit. So I guess that quote is always being thankful to what happens in your life, always being also resilient, and taking things in stride and moving forward. So that's the one quote. The other quote is not so much as a quote as well as much as an expression, but I've learned this from my father, and it's just onwards and upwards. So it's a key takeaway that I've learned from my father. So whatever happens professionally, you succeed in a project, don't dwell on your success and let your ego take, and I've done this and so on. Just move forward onto the next project, onto the next endeavor, onto the next thing that comes. Same thing. If you fail in a project, okay, you're going to be sad, you're going to be angry, you might, but let those emotions come out, and then put them on the side and move forward and better yourself, whether you've learned from a lesson of a mistake you've done, or even if you've succeeded, learn from that success. Don't let it get to your head, and just move on to the next thing and the next thing and the next thing. And that's how you get better throughout life. That's how you gain experience. And both those things actually do interact in some way. And I guess those are two life lessons I've learned from my parents, and I guess I take at heart and I try to apply every day.
Absolutely. And I'm sure you'll be telling your two girls the same thing. So we have a tradition on Hotel Talk where the guest gets to pull a question out of a crystal bowl. Okay. And these are all questions that the team have put together, but obviously you're not here to pull it out yourself, so I've pulled out one for you. And I don't know if almost this is wasted on you, because I almost know the answer, but it was, where do you like to go on holiday?
St. Raphael, Cyprus.
There we go. You're coming in a few weeks.
And for the listeners who don't know, we as a family have a tradition. Part of my family lives abroad. We have a tradition of meeting up yearly at the St. Raphael, and it's a tradition.
Yeah. Some come from Malta, some come from Lebanon. Yeah.
And it's been a tradition, well, almost ever since we moved back to Lebanon from Cyprus. So, yeah.
Yeah. And we look forward to every year. We love having you guys here. Fawzi, thank you so much. This is short and sweet, and it's a good intro for a lot of people to meet you and hear a little bit about the stories that went on creating Golden Monkey. So thank you so much for your time, and we will be seeing you very soon.
All right.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.
Thank you so much for listening to Hotel Talk, and I hope that you're enjoying every single moment of this exciting show. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because it helps us more than you may realize. And if you can like and comment on whatever platform that you've chosen to listen to this podcast, that would be great. If you'd like to stay in touch, do follow me on social media and click on www.straphael.com. The exact website is in our show notes, and you can join our Seahorse Club, where you can get exclusive offers and discounts and learn so much about our wonderful hotel here in Limassol, Cyprus. And also, if you'd like to email our reservations team and just quote Hotel Talk, they will be sure to give you an extra special price when you're booking your next trip with us. So we look forward to seeing you soon. Stay tuned, listen up more, and feedback is always more than welcome. Thank you.